I'm Akira The Don, and today I'm going to show you how to colour in scanned line art in Photoshop. Now the first thing to do is to make some line art. Line art is a beautiful and ancient art, and it involves usually a pencil. This is a nice, what is this? This is a B. I got it from WH Smith's in Stratford Shopping Centre, and I got all of my materials today from WH Smith's. So I mean, the point of being, if there isn't like a nice art shop near where you are, you can still get really good materials. Now, what did I get? I got some paper. I mean, any old paper will do, but I find that it's nice to draw on paper that's a bit thicker. This is again from the WH Smith sketch pad. This is the A4 sketch pad from WH Smith. Perfect for drawing, doodling, or sketching. Yeah. Now, so we're going to draw something. Maybe you'll be able to see what I'm doing now. So, what should we draw? We'll just draw something quick. So here we have a nice circle. Penciling is great by hand, because you know you can make as much mess as you want, and it's a nice sort of feeling. Now, we're gonna have this line go in this direction. This is like sort of show which way he's looking. You see. An old trick. I learnt most of what I know about drawing from well, the technical side of it from How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, which is a very good book. It taught me lots of stuff. Now, we're going to be very basic here. Some little arms we've got going on here, and then there's going to be a little strap around his shoulder, because what he's actually going to be doing, actually I'm going to change the feet. I just remembered he's going to be up in the air, so his feet will be hanging down. There's a little hangy downy feet, and this is his jetpack. He's got his jetpack, you see. And, it's pretty big, the old jetpack. It's got the bottom bit there, top bit there, slimmer. Yeah. So his big old eyes. He's got some big old eyes, this guy. I don't know why his eyes are so big. To be honest, I imagine the big old eyes had something to do with a combination of some of my bigger influences. And when I was a very little boy, I was very into Garfield, and for whatever reason. But as I got a little older, I remember I ran away from home when I was 15 months, and I stole a graphic novel paperback comic collection from was it Smith's? Something like that, in Liverpool, and it was called Squee. It was by Joan Vasquez, and he was doing like these big old eyeball things, and I think that was quite influential on me. Now, anyway, this is, while he's got big eyeballs, he's actually going to be wearing goggles here. So do that side here. So anyway, yeah, we've got a very basic drawing here, and we're gonna ink this with a Sharpie, which you can get from most shops, and some Dr. pens. I used to use these when I was a kid, like when I was 11 or something. When I did my first comic book, I might show you that one day. I was 13, well, not my first. The first one I sold in shops. I was 13, and I did all of that with like Dr. pens and pencils, and you know, to this day they're great things. Now. There we go, doing a nice line. I don't know if I spoke to you about this before, but like a lot of the time I use Manga Studio. But in this instance, we're doing scanned line art, so you know this is going to be something that we scan. And there's benefits to both methods. As you can see, I've kind of buggered up his head here. So I have to make it sort of black at the back because it's just not wide enough, but not as wide as it was supposed to be. And you know, if we were working in Manga Studio, I'd have been able to just like remove that and do a piece of piss, but that's okay. Now, I'm not doing like all of the lines in the Sharpie because I'm going to do a bunch of it with the nice Dr. pens. I might move on to the Dr. pens now. There This is a 3. This is a 0.3. So it's medium. 5 is quite thick. 1 is very thin. This is a 3. This is somewhere in the middle. So we're going to use this for. Probably spend a bit too much time on this, frankly. Is the colouring I want to show you, right? But anyway. Goggles, nice big goggly bits there. Again, see, I just made some mistakes there, but if I was doing them in the same Magnus Studio, it would be very easy to remove. But to be honest, it's going to be kind of easy to remove them afterwards anyway, once we scan them in. Now I'm doing some shady things here. It is amazing how much drawing some little squiggly lines on a thing can make it look less like a piece of crap. I mean, you can have, you know, what's essentially kind of a piece of crap drawing like this, which just, you know, it's not very well plotted out or thought out or anything. It's just, you know, circling some blob, hence the called blob this guy. But by adding little lines, you can make it look pretty nice. I don't know why that is, but yeah, something that comic books taught me. I will forever be thankful to comic books. And look at that, see there, I've couldn't plug it up very long, it's coming down, it's amazing. But it doesn't really matter too much. I'm going to use the even thinner pen now for some even thinner shading. This is the 0.1. This thing's awesome. Look at that. It's so thin. It's so thin and special. Obviously, I never went to art school, and obviously, all my teachers at school and GCSE art didn't look too highly on this sort of thing, and that's okay. There's a little reflective shading technique that I learned from 90s Marvel comic books. You sort of fill in the top and then you do a little crossy like that, and it looks like reflection. It really does, it's great. I'm going to black this in a bit more later, but now it's pretty sweet right there. Shoop. Draw a little skull. And his jetpack, because you know it's a dangerous thing, the jetpack. What little I know about jetpack technology doesn't inspire me with massive confidence, but there's a little thing, plume coming out the back of it. See, I've done enough of that bit. It's a bit. Just fill it in a bit more. That looks better already. Gonna do a bit of rubbing out first. 2 seconds, I'm gonna find a rubber. Alright, here's my rubber. Now, actually what it is, I mean, it was in my drawer where I thought it would be, but everything else is in that drawer. It's a very messy drawer. So you should probably keep tidier drawers than what I do. Rub. And we can actually see what's going on underneath all that pencil. And here we have this little dude and his little jetpack. And he looks pretty cute. And we can see that we could do a little bit more shadings. And there, a little bit more shady around there. I'm going to shade a bit under his eye, that's where the goggle shade will go. I'm imagining at this juncture that the light is sort of coming from about the top. Usually is, what with the sun living up there and all. Alright, so yeah, here we have very simple, little crappy drawing. And there you go, there it is. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scan it with my scanner, which is, you know, a brilliant thing. I bought the scanner in 2005, the scanner and a printer, and it's great. I remember my first scanner I ever saw. My old man got it. It was for our Amstrad PCW8512, which was a word processor in the 90s, and you held it with your hand and you rolled it over the picture, and I remember doing that once and it was amazing. And it talked about, you know, you'd have to hold it really slowly and roll it really slowly. I remember scanning Garfield once, and it took ages, and then when it came up on screen it was like, you know, like 18 pixels made up the whole thing. So we can open up Photoshop, scan the thing, so we go import. Import is in the file menu, we'll say import Twain. Now if you've upgraded to CS5, you might have found that your scanner stopped working. All you need to do is go to the Adobe site and search for a Twain add-on, which you install, and that means you can use your old scanner just like you did before. Before I found this, I was on some message boards. I was on the message board for HP. I was on HP's website. They make the scanner and printer, and they were saying I was going to have to buy a new scanner and printer. This is not true. You just need to download the Twain add-on. Right? So yeah, it's just scanning now, and it's just getting this bugger here, and here it is. Now we're going to tell it to use a resolution of 300 dpi. We could do it bigger, we could go up to anything we wanted. We could go up to 19,200 if we wanted, but 300 dpi is print quality for most printing. So that's what we're going to do today. So we've got it at 300, so we're going to accept that scan. So and it scans. It's making that nice rumbling noise. So that has scanned in, and it's sideways, so we're going to flip it around. We're going to go image, image rotation, 90 degrees, clockwise, and there he is. There's the little bugger, right there, and he's got a bit too much room for my liking. So right, it's time to colour him in. Now obviously back in the day, it's like, how do you get rid of all that white? How does one get rid of all that bloody white? And used to do all sorts of crazy things to get rid of the white, up the contrast, and then try and select it all with that silly magic wand, all that sort of thing. But then you wouldn't get all the little shady bits. You try to do something like that. Actually, the best thing to always do is to copy and paste the new layer of that, because you can work with it better. So that's the first thing we do. Copy the whole thing, which is Control A, Control C, and then Control V to paste it. Right? The control things are dead good. Use those always. Saves time. Okay, so we have this layer. Now yeah, like I was saying, back in the day we would get the magic wand and we would try and like delete all the white so we could colour behind it, but as you can see doing that, you get rid of all the shading and stuff, it's rubs. So we don't want to do that at all. What we want to do, and this is amazing, we used to do things like select colour range, and it's rubbish. Don't do any of that, right? Just go here onto the blend modes bit in layers, where it says normal, alright, and you want to put it on multiply. And what multiply is going to do, amazingly, is going to be that you can colour behind it. I'm going to show you this. So yeah, I'm doing this on a Wacom, as you might be able to see. I have to like unplug my Wacom while I'm doing other stuff because it makes like the mouse not work properly. It's kind of annoying. But this is the DTF 550 I'm using here, which is an older one, and it's Ace. You can pick one of these up for a couple of £100 on eBay or whatever, as opposed to the thousands of pounds. Like, what is it, 1,500? Something like that. It costs to get the Wacom that you draw straight onto that they make nowadays. So yeah, a couple of £100 for this one, maybe even less by this point. It was like €200 when I got it, like 3-4 years ago. So anyway, so we're going to paint behind it, right? And I'm going to choose a nice pink colour. So we're going to click the little colour thing down the bottom left there. We'll choose a colour. Choosing colours is easy and fun. It's trickier than you think it's going to be, choosing a colour, getting the right colour. I mean, we want this guy to be pink, but don't want it to be, anyway, whatever. So we're going to paint now on that. We've made a layer, and we've put this layer behind the drawing, okay? And we've set the drawing to multiply. The layer itself is just on normal. So now we're going to paint, and as you can see, it's going behind the thing, and that is just amazing. Woo, it's all behind! And we just paint in pink, and we don't mind that we're making a mess here. And when we say we, obviously we mean the royal we, which is me. That's what the Queen says, and if the Queen can say it, so can I. Anyway, so there we go, it's pink. It's very nice. What I've just realised is that we scanned in the artwork, but you know, the scan is very good, so you can see that it's not completely consistently black. It's kind of got bits of grey and stuff. So to sort that out, we're going to go up to Image, and we're going to go and make some adjustments, and I'm going to do it in the brightness and contrast, which is one of my favourite things. It's great brightness and contrast. Probably overused brightness and contrast over the years. I don't care. So I'm up in the contrast there, and as you can see, it's going black out. So I've done that, and I might even do it a bit more. Brightness contrast. Just a little bit more. Yeah, there's a little bit more. Look at that. Look how black that is. That's just beautiful and black right there. So okay, that's done. So we can go back to colouring. And so yeah, we've got that paintbrush. I mean, the paintbrush I'm using right now is just almost, it's like 88% hardness. It's got a bit of flow. It's fine for what I'm doing right here. We're not doing any like crazy painting effects. We're just colouring in this little guy. I'm going to do his little back strap now. What colour is the back strap going to be? I would say kind of brown. So we get like a little brown down here. That's a nice brown. We'll change the brush size. If you don't want to keep going up here to change the brush size, a keyboard control is the square bracket. The square bracket, both of them. The left square bracket goes down, and the right square bracket goes up. Keyboard shortcuts for the win. So we've got paint mode set to normal. So there we go. We can just paint his little backpack there. His little backpack there, very nice. And gonna do his little handles. I would imagine they'd be sort of grey colour. A little handle there. Shabba handle, amazing. Yeah. I'm gonna show you another little thing now, right? Which is mode normal. I'm gonna choose paint behind, and what that's gonna do, paint behind. I'm gonna give him a backpack. What colour should that be? Maybe like a yellow for that bit. So we can choose a nice yellow. We've got a big yellow. And as you can see, I'm scribbling over him, but because I've set it to paint behind, it won't paint over the top, it will only paint behind. You see, so I can just go over the edges and it doesn't matter, which makes it even easier. And I'm going to make these bits at the bit sort of dark red, I think. There we go, and I'm still doing paint behind. As you can see, it doesn't matter though, I'm going over the lines. Ah ha 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 ha! Which is ace. That is a good trick. Final thing to do is his goggles. What colour are goggles? Shall we say that these are kind of like war goggles? So they would have been a browny colour. And you see it's still not fully black on those lines, but that doesn't really matter. I would wager that it gives it I'm using the rubber there, by the way. See that rubber? And you can change the opacity of the rubber up and down. So if you don't want it to be a complete rubbing out, you want to like do it sort of like a gradual rubbing out, you can. You can do whatever you want. Basically, that is the joy of living in the future. As we do, you can do whatever you want. Now I'm changing it back to normal because I can't paint behind here because there's pink in the way from when I was a bit messy earlier. So here we are, going over. La 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 la. La, 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 la. And I've just made a little mess there, but that's okay. I'll tidy that up in a minute. That's easy. Shabba, shabba. Going over the sides. Very nice. Shooby, dooby, dooby. And as you can see, it's just like a beautiful motion. It's very relaxing. It's very fun. Just colouring away. Now I've got to do the goggly bits. What colour are the goggly bits going to be? Well, I'm just going to do that colour because it's there already, and I'm lazy. So it's sort of a nice blue. I reckon this nice blue could be kind of reflective of the sky, you see, because he's up in the sky on his little hovercraft. And yeah, we can mess about with that in a bit and make it more interesting. Shooby, I'm going to go, no I'm not, I've got pink. Get this pink out of the way. Do 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 do. There we go. So basically he's pretty much coloured in. I'm going to do one more thing, which is his jetpack down the bottom. Now fire is always a tricky one. I find with fire I think it pretty much starts white in the middle, and by the end of it it's sort of orange, isn't it? So if we sort of start like a bit whitey in the middle, and what I'm going to do here, see we've got the hardness there, I'm going to take the hardness down so it's not hard at all. Alright, so it's that makes it more airbrushy. So we have that, it's airbrushy. I'm going to stick it to paint behind, and I'm just going to keep bringing the colour a bit more yellow. A bit more yellow, a bit more yellow, oops, a bit more yellow, make sure I'm on the paint, a bit more yellow like that, even more yellow, like by this point I'm going to go right up to the yellow now, so like that. Then we're going to start getting a bit orangey, I reckon, so we'll just drag that down there. Bit orangey, vroom, vroom, vroom. And we're going to get really orangey for the last bit, I reckon, which is like that. Here we go. Woomph. woomph, woomph, woomph. And you can see this, actually I'm going to use that rubber thing I was on about earlier, so I'm going to take the hardness of my rubber down, the size of it up a bit, and that'll do. There's a little smudge here. You can use the smudge if you bugger things up to just smudge stuff around. Smudge that there. There you go. So we've got little guy, some nice fire. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually, let me just do that skull. Sorry. Skull. Make the skull a bit white. Mode to normal. You forget what you're doing sometimes here, I do anyway. And bear in mind, we haven't got this back to hard. So I'm going to put this back up to hard. Take the size of it down. Woo. Alrighty, now. Okay, so he's nice, he's cool. He's alright there. But you know, he needs some shading basically now. He needs some colour shading. Now, colour shading is easy and fun. You can do colour shading in a number of ways. You can say sample the colour by using the little dropper here and sampling it and then clicking on the colour. And if you wanted to do a little sage a bit, make it a bit darker, you could just sort of move your thing there, choose a darker colour, then just paint on top using the normal. And maybe I'll show you. I'll use my keyboard shortcut. What am I thinking? I only discovered this keyboard shortcut the other day. So anyway, so you could go like that. You see? Obviously I've just gone over the edge there a bit naughty. But do you know what is easier than doing it? You can do this and it's fine, it's cool, but if you're in a rush, as you often are when you're doing anything to do with comics or whatever, I find that using the burn and dodge tools is a beautiful thing, alright? Now the burn and dodge tools, basically they burn and they dodge, avoid in the dodginess. And this is just set on mid-tones at 46, which it just automatically is, and you see how I do that? It just did that straight away. That was kind of really cool of it. I was like, wow, thank you. It's on maximum hardness here. I'm going to take the hardness down because for the kind of colouring I want to do here, I want it to be sort of a bit blendy. Now, you know, if you're doing sort of anime style colouring or something, you might want more defined lines. Today, that's not what I want. So I'm just going to do it like that. Now, that's the mid-tone, the way it looks on mid-tone. You can play about with the other ones to see what they do. If we put it on shadow, what does it do there? See, it's more subtle and less ready. I actually prefer that. Or highlights. It's usually the opposite of what you think it is. See, the highlights makes it a bit dirty. If you were giving him a 5 o'clock shadow, the highlights thing would be pretty good for that. But we don't want a 5 o'clock shadow. So we're just gonna do this shadow one. Wow, right, look at that. Yay, look at that. Oh my god. Down a bit there, down a bit there. Woo. So you can see, you just sort of do your bits that you want to darken and emphasize. Under the eye, there, bit around the top. As bear in mind, as I was saying earlier, I think the light's coming from sort of the top bit, really. So yeah, go to the back here. Now, with certain colours, certain blend modes don't work as well. For whatever reason. Oh look, this is pretty good for those things. I like that for those things. So you just follow the line around, down it goes. Don't worry if it's a bit messy. Who cares? Not me. I'm gonna make this bit darker. Boom. And don't worry if it's a mess. You can always use your squidger. Move that around. Make things less messy. Move into the edge. Oh look, and I've made a mess there now. So I'm going to have to pull it back. So it goes sometimes when you're doing these things. So pulling it back. There you go. Shabba. Off you go. Piss off. Keep going, little blue bit. Annoying little blue. Pain in the butt. So there he is. We're going to try a different one for getting the shadow behind him that's falling on his jetpack. Let's try the highlight. Like I said, sometimes it's the opposite. So that's a good one for this red. That's a nice shadow there. Look at that. Whoa. And does it work on the? It's working really nice on the yellow as well. That's a good shadow. Thank you, burn tool. Whoever made you burn tool is awesome. Now, of course, I've just noticed something here that I might have done wrong. Which is, see, I've got a shadow like at the bottom, but there's fire coming out at the bottom. Surely that would illuminate. It probably would. but that's okay. Now notice here I'm also going to do a bit of burning on top of the burning I've already done. That is just because the burning I did, I think, was a bit too ready. So let's try on there as well. Now we need a shadow under there. Just a chin blocking out the sun. There he is. Boom, boom. Bit more there. Bit more there. So yeah, that's pretty nice. But what we're missing, right, is the opposite of shadow, and that is light. That is the highlight type thing. Now you can use dodge for that, but personally I actually find it is better to use paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sample the colour there, right, and I'm going to take it down to an almost white version of that pink. And now what I'm going to do on my paintbrush is I'm going to take the opacity right down really low. So it's kind of like a see-through type thing. And I'm going to just paint on his head a bit. And I'm going to undo paint on his head because what I've done there, it was probably on hard. It was on hard. I want it to be on soft. Alright? So that it's airbrush. The whole airbrush effect is what we're after here. So there we go. Look at that! We just got some light reflecting on his head. And some light there. Light coming that way. And a little light on his belly. A little light there. A little light on his hand. A little light there. Nice. A little light on his backpack. Don't do the light like that on his backpack because it's a different colour. So just do a little bit of light on his foot. Little footsies. And on his on his goggles. Yeah, look at that. That just looks illa already. Nice goggly light. Yeah, so I'll just sample the colour on this again to get a low kind of red. So take it down there, it's a bit pinky, right? This should therefore look like a more suitable highlight. Warm. Oh, and I think it does. And final bit on this is there's this fire going off here, right? So the colour of the fire would likely be going onto it. I am no expert on nothing, but I imagine that is what would happen. So we shall sample this colour here, and exactly the same thing. There's a bit of yellow light, and there's a bit of yellow light going on his feet as well because he's right by them. Maybe a little bit up there, a little bit on the underneath where it's coming from. And there we have a lovely little guy. Fit on screen. Zoom out a bit. Oh, how pretty is that? And he looks a bit lonely just on his own, so I think he needs a background. I haven't got time to draw a background today, so we're going to go, pull this across, we'll go on the internet, we'll just type in sky, images, and here's some nice sky. So I'm just going to nick one of these skies basically, and stick it behind him, and it'll look great. That one might do. Actually, want a big one, sorry, yeah. So when you're searching for artwork, you probably want to choose large. Now, you know, looking for artwork in Google is probably a bit fake. There's lots of like stock photo sites where you can get photos. If you were going to use this commercially, you'd want to use, and you were using a photo, you'd want to use a photo that you were allowed to use. That's a nice sky. Which sky do we want? That's a nice sky. Should we try that sky? Copy image. So we're just going to copy that image. We're going to go back into Photoshop and we're just paste it in there. Oh, and it's not big enough, but that's okay. So there we go. There he is up in the sky. Now we're going to move him. So I'm going to link him. I'm going to connect. I've got both of those layers there, right? I'm going to link them. Link layers. So we can move him around. Yeah, look at that. And he's just moving around. He's up in the sky. And I think now we've got the background there, we can see that his eyes are probably a little too dark. So maybe the final thing to do is to just add some more highlight on those eyes. So that's what I'm going to do. A bit more highlight on those eyes. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So we'll sample that blue colour, we'll take it down a bit, and we will go oh yeah, we want some more highlights. Oh, that's it, we didn't put highlights on that. Okay. Excuse me. There we go. Yeah. Highlighty. And the final thing we're going to do is put some highlights on his goggles. My wife forgot to do that earlier, but I did. So there we go. Oop. Highlighty. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Don't matter if it's a bit messy, it's nice, in my opinion. So, yeah. So there we go. Little blob guy, coloured in. So yeah, there we go. Photoshop, pencil, paper, colouring in, piece of piss. I've been Akira The Don. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any queries, leave them in the comments or whatever. And if there are any other ridiculously easy things that you want me, with my self-taught, limited, ignoramus knowledge, to give to you, then do let me know. AkiraTheDon.com. Peace.
AkiraTheDon.com.